Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Okakadash, Barakatham, to the elders and apostles, Wa'akim, Wa'akwaf, and I say Shalom. And this is a sit-down lesson of March the 8th, 2025 on this Saturday afternoon. And this is from the Jerusalem Post as of March the 8th, 2025. It reads, it says Hamas agrees to ceasefire extension, release of more living hostages. Hamas has agreed to extend the ceasefire by 2 months and will release more hostages. Saudi channel Al Hudad reported on Saturday night. And this is another news article. As we've been seeing the rising tensions for the past month and a half, as Trump used that executive order to use the maximum, the maximum sanctions and to use on Iran so they can come with a nuclear deal. And this is a news article. It says White House reiterates Trump's warning to Iran. And I believe there was a news article as well, too, from the top Iranian leader who says they reject talks between Iran and the United States because of the nuclear capability of the nuclear deal. As add a side note to that as well, too. It says the White House responded to Iran's rejection of President Trump's call to negotiate a nuclear agreement on Saturday, reiterated Trump's assertion that Tehran can be dealt with either military or making a deal. It says we hope the Iran regime puts its people at best interests ahead of the TERROR. White House National Security Council spokesperson Bridge Hughes said in a statement after the Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei said Tehran will not be bullied in negotiations. It says reports of 2 people wounded in gunfire in North Haglakli in the north. It says groups pilled a car with Mocktail cocktails in West Bank. Tivoli calls for an investigation into shells storing a car into the ravine. The IDF troop throttled drug smuggling attempts on the Egypt border. Israeli tourist gang raped local found dead in India, reported. It says the IDF scrubbed Hezbollah groups in southern Lebanon. Oh, that was from yesterday. Slocky. Let's go to RT.com. Some prophecy updates. It says Russian ballistic missiles destroy Ukrainian HIMARS position. Video of MOD reports. It says Russian military elaborates multiple villages in crucial region. It says Washington considers a rare earth deal with African state. Ukraine loses access to U.S. commercial satellites, which I believe the United States discontinued them from that, last week. It says Musk and Rubio in a heated role, New York Times reports. It says North Korea reveals a nuclear-powered submarine, photos reported. NATO prosecutors fall into links to Russia to cable cutting incident. It says Trump says Russia easier to deal with than Ukraine. Russia hits Ukraine's energy sites. It says Trump moves pulling U.S. troops out of Germany. The Telegraph reports. It says Bizio outs bond producers over idiot remarks, reports. It says China fires back in a trade war with terrorists with Canadian goods. And this is a news article as of March the 8th, 2025, and it reads, it says China fires back in a trade war with tariffs on Canadian goods. It says Beijing's new tax on food and agriculture follow Ottawa's duties on China's EVs, steels, and aluminum. China has announced steps tariffs on Canadian agriculture and food products in response to Ottawa's recent trade measures. The Chinese Minister of Commerce confirmed this decision, citing Canada's, let's say, duties on China's electric vehicles, the EVs, steels, and aluminum. The tariffs will take effect on March the 20th. The sanctions, including 100% duties on Canadian oil or oil cakes and peas, an additional 25% will hit Canadians' twic products and pork and significantly affect exporters. If I pronounce that right, it says in August of 2024, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau introduced 100% tariffs on China's EVs and the 25% duties of Chinese steel and aluminum, accusing Beijing of state directly over capacity. The measures which were implemented in October, aligning with the similar actions by the United States and EU, both which imposed tariffs on Chinese-made EVs. It says the Chinese Ministry of Commerce condemns Canadians' move in a violation of the World Trade Organization rules, calls its protectionism that severely harms China's legitimate rights and interests. China is Canada's second largest trading partner after the United States. The latest escalations added to the mounting global trade tensions with the U.S., China, and Canada and Mexico imposing a round of tariffs on each other in recent years. Yeah, so we definitely going to be seeing these economical trade wars between the nations, and that's what we're seeing as of late. Bring up that Matthews. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And there should be famines and earthquakes in diverse places. Right? Modern day nation against nations with these trade wars, economic wars between the nations, and that's what we're seeing. And this is a prime example right here. It says China's fired back in a trade war with tariffs on Canadian goods. Beijing's new tax on food and agriculture follows Ottawa's duties on China's EVs, steels, and aluminum. Right, so we're going to be seeing trade wars and economic wars. Got Matthew 24, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. It's the book of St. Mark, chapter 3, and verse 24. Yep, St. Mark, chapter 3, verse 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, the kingdom cannot stand. Right, so we're still going to be seeing modern day kingdoms being divided against itself, and that's what we're seeing. So you're still going to see increasing wars, rumors of wars, economical wars, political wars, geopolitical wars, trade wars, and that's what we're seeing, which is only going to continue to increase. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 3, verse 8. And a time to love, and a time of HATE, and a time of war, and time of peace. And this is a news article from the RT.com. As we've been seeing, the rising tensions been heating up between North Korea and South Korea, Japan, and the United States, throughout the years, as originally, as I had a side note to that. And that shows you North Korea showing its, North Korea showing its army nuclear force, and that's what we're seeing. As of March the 8th, 2025, it reads, North Korea reveals nuclear-powered submarine Pyongyang has released images of the vessels as Kim Jong-un tours the major shipyards. North Korea has revealed its first nuclear-powered submarine, releasing images of the country's leaders Kim Jong-un expecting the vessels during a visit a major shipyard. In a report on Saturday, the state media described the vessels as a nuclear-powered strategic guide missile submarine, which I believe they recently tested one of their guided missiles. I would say like last week, if I'm not mistaken. It says in a report Saturday, state media describes the vessel as a nuclear-powered strategic guided missile submarine. The undated photos do not disclose the shipyard's location, and the report lacking specific details about the vessels, but mentioned that Kim was briefed on the construction process. Pyongyang has long sought to introduce a nuclear-powered submarines to its fleet as part of the efforts to counter what it sees a military threat from the U.S. and its regional allies. According to the Nuclear Threat Initiative, North Korea maintains one of the world's largest submarine fleets, estimating to 70 to 90 vessels. However, many experts argue that most of its submarines are outdated and may not be fully operational or capable of launching missiles. So Matthews 24. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Right, so nuclear wars between North Korea versus South Korea, Japan, United States, and all these nations showing their nuclear capability. That's what we're seeing. That's only going to build up to the nuclear wars, which is wars and rumors of wars on top of that as well, too. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not trouble for all these things must first come to pass, but there is not yet. Matthew 24, verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation. Right, that's what we're seeing. And kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. And this is a news article from RT.com, as we've been seeing rising tensions between the Russia-Ukraine situation. And they, even though they're in the processing stages to potentially have a ceasefire between both sides, but ever since then, been having rising tensions between Russia and Ukraine. This is a news article from RT.com, and it reads, as of March the 8th, 2025, it says Russian military liberates multiple villages in the Kursk regions. Multiple forces have seized control of 3 settlements in the north of the Ukrainian controlled pocket. It says Russia has liberated 3 villages in the Kursk regions, making a new advance against the Ukrainian invasion forces in the area. It said the defense ministry, the Moscow, announced on Saturday. So another signs of wars and rumors of wars. And this is a news article. And before I read the news article, I want to make a side note to it. In that region, you had NATO recently blamed and accused Russia of the cable cutting incident, which they spoke about, I would say, like 2 months ago. And they blamed Russia on that. So that's why we've been seeing rising tensions on and off, back and forth between NATO and Russia, as I add a side note to that. And this is a news article as of March the 8th, 2025. It reads, NATO prosecutors. Hello. And this is a news article from RT.com. And it reads once again, it says NATO prosecutors failing to link Russia to cable car cutting incident. Wall Street Journal reports. The investigation reportedly has not found any proof that four incidents in the ballistic sea were deliberate sabotage. And I believe even this, even though Russia wasn't involved in this, as it says, the NATO prosecutors failing to link the cable cutting incidents. I believe they're going to have more military presence in that region, just in case of a potential cable cutting incident once again. But as of recently, it says NATO prosecutors failing to link Russia to cable cutting incidents, so they wasn't involved in it. But you're still going to have rising tension between both sides of Russia and NATO. It says the Russian countries investigating a string of cable cutting incidents in the ballistic sea are struggling to find any definitely proof that they were deliberated, state orchestrated sabotage rather than incidents. The Wall Street Journal reported on Friday. It says over the past several months, there has been at least four separate incidents in which sea cables in the region are reportedly damaged either by Russian vessels or vessels operated from Russian ports. The trigger speculated that Moscow was behind that was expected to be sabotaged. The Kremlin has consistently denied any involvement. So this was just a quick sit-down lesson of a quick prophecy updates as of March the 8th, 2025 on this Saturday afternoon. So with that, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Kakadash, Barak Thumb to the elders and apostles, Wa'akim Wa'akwaf. Until next time, I would say Shalom.